Chapter 5, Location, Location, Location. How marketable is your practice area? We can't tell you how many times we've received a phone call like this one. My name is Dr. Smith, and I'm calling quite frankly out of pure frustration. I need to get more new patients, and I'm at a loss as to how to do this. I've tried different marketing initiatives over the years, and none really have been successful. It seems to me that marketing is a waste of money for my practice and does not seem to be effective. I'm at a loss as to what to do, so here I am talking to you guys. If you're a dentist and you've tried different marketing tactics in the past, this might sound just like you. Many dentists go through this same vicious cycle, trying out different marketing ideas in the hopes of stumbling upon the advertising holy grail. As each marketing tactic is deployed and fails to deliver the results they're looking for, they get more and more frustrated and disillusioned with marketing as a way to build their business. But Dr. Smith's real problem, and the real problem for many dentists in his situation, often has nothing to do with the success of his marketing efforts. It is quite possible that one or more of those initiatives he deployed in the last 4 years was working, but unrealistic expectations prompted him to drop a perfectly good marketing campaign and move on to something else. He didn't know what marketing success looked like because he didn't know what good market share in his area looked like. Understanding your specific market area is key prior to successfully promoting your dental practice. Think of it this way. Understanding the dental consumer is the first step in developing a marketing plan. Understanding the marketability of your practice is step 2. And understanding the marketability of your geographic area is step number 3. In this chapter, we're going to look at ways to measure the marketability of the area in which you have chosen to set up your practice. We'll also show you how this information can help you set realistic expectations for your marketing efforts and use your time and money more effectively when promoting your business. The mountain to climb. Is it the Bunny Hill or Mount Everest? Between you and the marketing success that you desire, imagine for a minute that you have a mountain to climb. Is that mountain the Bunny Hill, or does it look like Mount Everest? The size of that mountain is heavily influenced by the area you have chosen to practice. We'll explain what we mean. Dentists everywhere seem to think that any part of the country they decide to practice in is going to offer them the same opportunities to grow their business. All they need to do, they reason, is set up a good practice and then use marketing to get the word out about the services they offer. This is like setting out on a journey without understanding the obstacles. Clearly, that doesn't make sense. If you've got a 300-foot gradual slope, your journey will not be too challenging. But if you have Mount Everest in front of you, then you need to be prepared for the upcoming struggle. Knowing what you are up against is the first step in establishing a reasonable expectation for return on your marketing investment. As an example, we are sure you've heard of the 1% rule as it pertains to direct mail, where you should expect a 1% response. Well, that's hogwash in dentistry. Using this well-distributed myth, if you spend $984.50 on postage to send 4,500 mailers, you're going to get 45 new patients that spend $2,000 each in your practice. That's a 9,000% return on investment. Does that sound reasonable to you? Seriously, does an instant 90-to-1 ROI even sound remotely reasonable? It sounds desirable, we agree, but reasonable? No, of course it doesn't. So let's look at more realistic ways to measure marketing success based on the potential in your geographic area. Measuring the marketability of your practice area. There are a number of tangible measurements you can take to determine how marketable your area might be. These tangible measurements include the doctor-patient ratio in each zip code. This is supply and demand. How do these totals compare with the national average? Any natural, man-made, cultural, or known socioeconomic barriers between you and a target that may nullify an area close to you as a potential market area. Other dentist advertising activities. How many times a day, per week, or year do you hear other local dentists promoting their own practices? And finally, supporting demographic information. What is the average household income, the ratio of owners to renters, projected housing growth, age of the homes? This type of demographic information can affect the marketability of a specific area. The only way to set realistic expectations is to analyze your particular market area and compare it to the average market area. The average market area in the United States, as of this writing, has one dentist for every 1,650 people, or a 1 to 1,650 doctor-patient ratio. This is a supply-demand measurement. How do the zip codes surrounding your practice stack up to the national average? Good question, huh? If we told you that the zip code you are in is less than 1 to 900, how would that skew your expectations? Would you expect more response or less response from your practice promotion? Hopefully you said less. Would it take you longer to gain a certain number of new inquiries in a 1 to 900 area than a 1 to 2,000 area? Oh, you bet. So is this the bunny hill, or are you scaling Mount Everest? In a 1 to 900, maybe it's Pikes Peak. Sure, you might see a positive outcome, but it's going to take a lot more effort than you might have assumed. Avoid the cluster. Why the best practice areas can be bad for business. Did you ever wonder why you never see two Walmart stores really close to one another? It's because Walmart doesn't do anything until they know what to expect. Let's take a moment to explain how dentists tend to cluster themselves right next to each other. This will help you understand some of the market conditions you experience in your area. This is especially useful information for those of you that have 10 to 30 years of practice left. You can actually keep your eyes and ears open for potential threats or potential lucrative opportunities. There are 4 main variables that drive dentists toward each other and away from potentially more fruitful market areas. They are, number 1, money, or the visible perception of higher than average wage earners. Number 2, proximity to a dental school. Number 3, availability of commercial real estate. Number 4, proximity of a hospital. Let's look at these one at a time. Money, or the visible perception of higher than average wage earners, draws dentists like moths to a bug zapper. The reason dentists are drawn to these areas makes perfect sense. Simply, dentists equate rejection of their recommended treatment with the lack of money. Therefore, dentists are drawn to populations with money to avoid rejection of recommended treatment. Dentists just want to be trusted. This reasoning makes perfect sense on the surface, but it means that almost any town or section of a town in the U.S. with an above-average earning level also has a doctor-patient ratio that is less than the national average. There is nothing wrong with setting up a dental office in an area like this, but your ability to attract patients from these areas, depending, of course, on the 4 tangible measurements above, is going to be more difficult. In some cases, much more difficult. That doesn't mean you won't be successful. You can be, but it does mean that you are going to have to be more patient with your market and results than a dentist in a 1 to 2,000 market who is surrounded by a population making $60,000 or less per year. The close proximity of a dental school almost always dictates a lower than average doctor-patient ratio. You know how it goes. You go to dental school, meet somebody real nice from the area, decide to get married, and your spouse doesn't want to leave the area. You plop down a dental practice. Bam! Instant 1 to 900 patient ratio. Or maybe you just graduated and aren't married yet. You still need to pay off your student loans, right? So you take an associate position at a nearby dental office. Time passes. You become accustomed to the area and the patients you treat. Eventually, you open a new practice of your own in the area. It's easy to see why geographic regions surrounding dental schools are so saturated with dentists. The availability of commercial real estate is also a reason many dentists cluster together. Each town or municipality has a governing body or planning board that overlays projected use for land within its borders for certain things. Some areas are zoned residentially, others commercially, and others might be zoned for research and development or industrial purposes. Most master plans cluster the availability of office space suitable for dental practices in one small area of a community. Because of this, you get a dense cluster of dentists with practices that are practically on top of one another. Hospitals are also famous for drawing a high number of dentists. Most master planners allocate lots of office space near the hospitals to supporting doctor and specialist practices. Here again, you will almost always find a doctor-patient ratio well under the national average of 1 to 1,650. To be clear, we are not telling you to move if you're in one of these areas. What we are suggesting is that you need to do your homework and be aware of your competitive space when you put your marketing dollars to work. If your expectation level is reasonable, there is no market in the U.S. that will prevent your success, not a single one. You just need to be aware of what you are up against. In short, if you're looking at Mount Everest, you'd better be prepared. Numbers don't lie. Predicting the profitability of practice areas. Here is a statistical proof that will put the importance of your practice area into perspective. The average general dentist requires a minimum of 750 active charts to support a productive 32-hour work week. This is a fact. Let's say the doctor-patient ratio in a given market area is 1 to 750, or one dentist for every 750 people. Ask yourself these three questions. Number one, what are the chances that this dentist will turn all 750 people in the area into patients? Number two, should a dentist in this situation expect fast or slow results? Number three, should a dentist consider opening a new dental practice in this type of marketing area? Well, we hope your answers were number one, small, number two, slow, and number three, hell no. Let's take a look at some sample marketing analysis reports and discuss what we see. Take a look at the first zip code area in 77057 on the table below and think about its potential as a practice location. And note, this table is on page 54 in the written book. On first inspection, we have a seemingly great marketing area. Lots of people, that's for sure, and based on data from another report, we can confirm that there is good supportive income in the area as well. However, remember that each of the 211 dentists in the area requires 750 active patients to support a minimally productive practice. As you can see, the numbers show us there are only 773 people in total per dentist in the 5 surrounding zip codes. What are the chances of being unbelievably successful with a promotional campaign in this type of market? Conclusion: practicing in marketing area number 1 is going to be a long uphill battle. Zip code 77055 is the only zip code in the core market of this practice that even comes close to the national average. The tougher the market conditions, the more promotional activities you will see among competing dentists. In a market like this, we would expect to see dental practices aggressively promoting their own offices in order to maintain their market share. Let's take a look at the next report, marketing area number 2, and this is on page 55 in the written book. On the surface, this marketing area probably looks less inviting to the dentist. There are fewer people, they are spread out further, and based on a separate marketing report, we know that many of them are not earning a great living. Most dentists will look at marketing area number 1 and marketing area number 2 and go for number one every time. It's part of the mechanism that causes the clustering phenomena that we looked at earlier. But we can tell you that choosing the superficially more attractive area, marketing area number one, could be a mistake. In a saturated marketing like this, it will take years to establish yourself. You will have to spend more money on promotion, and it will take longer for that promotion to gain momentum and offer a solid return on investment. Marketing area number two, which looks less inviting on the surface, is the exact opposite. In marketing area number two, a dentist opening a new office here will spend less money on promotion and will see more immediate results from that promotional activity. It will take no time at all for a dentist in marketing area number two to establish a practice within the community. In fact, we could easily project a new practice producing close to $1 million in its first year. Recap. What have we learned in this chapter? Hopefully, this chapter has opened your eyes to the importance of choosing the right practice area. More importantly, we've shown you how the marketability of your practice area can affect the effectiveness of your marketing activities. You've seen that in order to determine whether your marketing strategy is succeeding or not, you need to know what kind of success your geographic area can sustain. There isn't a whole lot you can do to improve the marketing conditions in your area, unless you're going to devise a diabolical scheme to eliminate dentists, which we don't really recommend. And quite honestly, whether you're in a geographical advantageous location or not is not the ultimate issue. If you're the owner of an established practice, you don't need to pull up stakes and move your practice into an area with a better doctor-patient ratio, although you could. What we are recommending is that you understand the opportunities and limitations that your area presents. Know what kind of ratio you're dealing with. Understand the demographic factors that can affect your success. Factor in the potentially negative effects of clustering. Be aware of the marketing efforts of other dentists in your area. And above all, recognize that the doctor-patient ratio in your marketing area provides an important guideline as you set your expectations for success and determine your marketing budget. What's next? Now that you have a better understanding of marketing realities for your specific practice area, it's time to take a look at some of the marketing tactics you may choose to use in your promotions. We'll cover a wide range of marketing channels and cover the advantages and disadvantages of each type to help you make an informed decision on where to spend your marketing dollars.